Howdy, here is Bonnie, your podcast host. Before we dive into this episode, I want to introduce you to my heartfelt and transformative novel, It Was Here. Dive into the captivating story of Harrison Selick, a 41-year-old divorced man navigating the complexities of love, loss, and self-discovery. In this beautifully crafted tale, Harrison's journey of rebuilding his life after a devastating divorce unfolds with raw emotion and unexpected twists. Join him as he grapples with his past, embraces the present, and embarks on a path to rediscover true love. But that's not all. Immerse yourself further in the world of It Was Here with our exclusive merchandise. We have a range of stunning postcards, posters, and stickers inspired by the novel, allowing you to carry a piece of this extraordinary story wherever you go. Side note here, there is an offer box available, and there you get everything. There you get a signed hardback copy and all of the merch. So yeah, listeners, get ready to be captivated by It Was Here and its compelling exploration of love, forgiveness, and the beauty of second chances. Don't miss out on this remarkable journey that will leave you feeling inspired and touched. To get your hands on the book or the offer books, and of course our fabulous merchandise, visit the website at thecrylounge.com, or it's also linked in the bio. Discover a story that will stay with you long after you've turned the final page. I promise. Get your copy of It Was Here today. Howdy everyone, and welcome to another episode of Bonnie's Legends. Today I bring to you part 2 of my conversation with Ginger Rodriguez about her new single Rosa de Guadalupe. So if you haven't listened to part 1, you should definitely check that out. We talk a lot about what the song actually is about Ginger's musical journey, what she has released so far, and also what I really like about this episode, the past episode, is that we talked about kind of how we perceive social media, the lack of context. And so basically we talk about comments that we get where it's very obvious that the viewer hasn't really got the context of the video, and so it's just commenting the lack of context. Yeah, it's been a really interesting conversation, and you should definitely check the part 1 out. In this one, we talk more about the songwriting process, the producing process, because Ginger usually always self-produces her songs and her albums, her previous albums. And this time she has worked with someone on the internet, and she talks about that process, about that change. And we also talk a bit about roots, and kind of we talk about the vibes of certain cities, and where sometimes we don't even mean the city originally, but we're just like, that's the vibe of it. So she talks about the Texas vibe, and I announce my poetry collection, which is coming out later this year, and I'm gonna spill the tea about the book, about the poetry collection, and so I talk about Tennessee vibes and how Tennessee is just a vibe. We see those cities through art. Anyway, it's really interesting. This conversation was really, this main, do I have a favorite child? I have a favorite part, and I think the second part is definitely my favorite part of my entire conversation with Ginger, and I really loved it, and I hope you have a wonderful time listening to it. First of all, La Rosa did...
La Rosa de Guadalupe.
I'm always getting stage fright when I'm doing this.
It's okay.
Okay, La Rosa de Guadalupe.
Yeah, see. Yeah.
I'm going to Spain in 1.5 weeks. I should be good.
You know what? You got it. I knew what you meant, and you said it well.
Well, okay. So at least I can say this. I'm gonna like to all my new Spanish friends. I'll be like, listen to Ginger Rodriguez.
Yeah.
La Rosa de Guadalupe.
Yeah. Thank you.
That will literally be my conversation starter.
Yeah.
I listened. You sent me. I mean, the song's coming out for me in 4 hours.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh wow, you're gonna hear it. I mean, I've already shown it to you, but it's coming out soon. But oh my goodness, that's crazy.
I listened to the SoundCloud link you sent me.
Yeah.
And I was impressed.
Oh, thank you.
I was
God.
Impressed.
What if you hated it? And you're like, now I have to talk to this girl about it.
No, literally, that never happened to me.
Oh, okay, good.
It's just I was really impressed because I mean, you know, like I we talked about this last time we met, but I was like really impressed with like how, I mean, it's still you, but it's really different and really like standing on its own. Like if you like, I was thinking of like people who will never listen to your music before. I'm like gonna listen to this song. I'm gonna be like when they discover all the rest, they're gonna be like, oh, like, you know, La Rosa de Guadalupe is so unique.
Yeah.
Like it's really cool.
I appreciate that. I really do. And yeah, I hope it, like, even though it is different from what I've done before, there are also lots of elements that like I've used before in like other songs, and like certain synth instruments I've used in other songs and things like that. And it's also just very me and like how the way I write in general. Like even writing the song, it's standard for how I write most songs. Like I think the chorus, I'm a diva, Mother Teresa, like that whole thing. Like I just remember writing that in my notes app, like I think in January of 2022. And I was just like, this is interesting. I was like, this is kind of funny. And so I just wrote it down. Like I was like, this could be a cool song. I don't know what for. And then it wasn't until like the summer of 2022 really that I was like playing around with I used Logic Pro to produce, and I was just playing around with stuff. And that's sort of when I was like found, I don't know, like I just kind of wanted to create something reminiscent of like what I listened to when I was young. So even though I feel like you hear the song and it's very different from what I'm gonna tell you now, but like I was really into like how, especially like 90s and the early 2000s, like there are a lot of like Hindi like samples being used. I think of like Britney Spears' Toxic, or Beyonce, like early Beyonce, or like lots of different pop songs where that was used. And so I was like, okay, I want to find like a Hindi sample of something, whether it be like a mandolin or something I can find. And I ended up finding this track of this woman singing, and I don't think it's actually Hindi at all, but it just kind of was that vibe for me. And I just had to like edit it so that the like notes were in place, and I was like, oh, this is perfect. And then I once again going through like samples again, thinking about like 90s Y2K like music, a lot about samples. And so I wanted to find like a silly Western sample, like think like old West, like old Westerns. I wish I had the names of them. I don't know if you know Gene Autry, but he was like a singing Texas cowboy way back in the day. And like something just like kind of like something like that. And so I found like a sample, and it goes dun, da, 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 or something, and you can like barely hear it, but it's in the background, and I love it. Um,
I'm gonna
and then
I'm gonna
yeah, so
take a good
yeah,
listen next time.
yes, please. I will. I'll honestly like make a. I'll probably have to make like a video breaking down everything I did, because I just get so excited about this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just playing around with all this stuff because I thought it was so cool. And then I started writing these lyrics to it. That's where I just started writing the verse to like the instrumental I was making. And then for the chorus, I was like, well, I don't know what to do. And I was like, wait, I wrote these lyrics a long time ago. And like, it kind of like goes with what I'm trying to do for this album. Um, and so I was like, okay, I'll flesh these out. So like, call me Mona Lisa. I'm a diva, Mother Teresa, because it's very silly, it's very campy, but it's also like kind of something I haven't written about before. Um, just because I feel like a lot of my songs are like they're very honest, because it's something I go through a lot, but something it's like about like how I don't feel good enough or all that, and you can hear that in my songs. And I struggle with mental illness, but there's always a new day, and we're trying to get through it.
Yeah.
But like with this song, I was like, I kind of want to do something for like the the bad bitches, the hot girls, like something like that. Just because, and like I'd also like to say that anybody can be a hot girl or be hot. I think it's like a mindset. That's something I had to learn. I learned that via TikTok, I think. I was like, oh yeah, like whoever you are, you can choose that. And so that's something I sort of wanted to like include in the song as well. It's like I love being able to share how I feel, including like the low moments. But I was kind of like, I want to also share when I'm feeling really good about myself too. So when I
Yeah.
feel like a goddess. And so that's sort of how it came about.
Nice. Nice.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
when you asked me about Gene Audrey, I was like literally I saw it comment that it's gonna be a cowboy. and kind of my entire persona is kind of around. I don't know how this happened, but my Substack is called Howdy Bonnie.
Yeah.
And I'm known for like, wearing a cowboy hat, dancing in my room with a disco
Hell
ball.
yeah. Hell yeah. That's my favorite thing.
Yes. And so I was like, I should know this. I should know this. This is so embarrassing. No, but like, yeah.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, but you don't need like okay. I'm putting out a poetry collection at the end of this year, and it's called Pretty Tennessee: Poems About a Cowboy That Stole My Heart and Never Called. And oh, did I just announce this?
I guess you did.
Well,
Well,
all
if
right.
you're listening, make sure you go pick that up. Is there you can pre-order?
Yeah, pre-order's coming probably in the summer. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, but yeah, I'm writing a lot about, I kind of when I started seeing this kind of motive going on, I kind of started like implementing, cowboy things and stuff, and so um yeah, and it was like really interesting because it's like it has nothing to do with Tennessee, but
Yeah. Hey.
somehow it came into this. And when I started writing, like once I wrote down in a verse Pretty Tennessee, I was like, oh, this is gonna be my addiction for the rest of my life. And so, literally, the photo
Yes.
collection is not called Pretty Tennessee because it's so many times like dropped in
I
there.
love
So
it though. Hell yeah, Tennessee is a state of mind.
yeah,
For sure.
yeah. And I think that's what it's all about, people, because I talk obviously about a guy, so it's like everyone's like, oh, like yeah, he's from Tennessee, and I'm always like, no, like Tennessee is just kind
It's the
of
vibe.
this,
Like
yeah, it's the
yeah,
vibe.
it's the
Yeah,
vibe. I've never been
yeah,
to Tennessee, but I know what you mean. Hey, I'm a
yeah,
Texas girl. I feel like there's similarities.
yeah, and I think maybe it has to do, it's a series now, so it's a book series called Liebesring, which is German.
Oh,
um and so it's basically means the reign of love. Yeah.
oh
And
okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And there
Wow.
the first part is the poetry collection, and then there are going to be 2 fictional novels. And I think because, I kind of saw the Tennessee thing going on, and I used Tennessee as you need a fictional place for,
Yes.
for the
Yes.
story to set in. And so I chose Tennessee, and then I was like, should I not use Texas? And I almost used Austin, Texas.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Very interesting. Well, if you ever end up writing a story in Austin, Texas, I'm always here to tell y'all about, I don't know, our culture, what's around here,
Yeah.
your spots to go, or maybe the spots you don't want to go.
That's good. That's good to
Yes.
know.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't know. But then I was like, no, like all my poems about Tennessee, so probably
Yeah.
the books should be set in
No, yeah,
Tennessee too.
Tennessee makes sense,
Yeah.
for sure. But seriously, if you ever do Texas or Austin, I'd love to help.
Yeah, I actually know someone from the only the only person I know, except if
Yeah.
is like he was once a friend. I've spent Christmas with him. That's so randomly.
Oh.
I never met him before, and I've just spent like I've just met him once in my life, but we spent Christmas together.
Wow, that's crazy. That's a big deal, kind of.
Yeah, because he was a friend of my brother's. Anyway,
okay.
if you're listening to this, I think he's kind of listening to my podcast because he's the only guy I know in Texas.
Okay.
And I only have like 1 listener in Texas. So I was always like,
Aw.
except you listening to my podcast.
Yeah, maybe it's just. Is it? Maybe it's him. I don't know. I don't
Let's
know.
see. Anyway,
We'll
if you're
see.
listening to this, I hope you're good. Christmas
you're
was
good.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, what for next course? Sorry. It's always good to talk about cowboys, like literally.
Oh, cowboy.
Yeah. So yeah, you talked last time we talked, and you also dropped it in I mean, the reason why we've met again was like to talk a bit more in depth about like how this song was made, about the the technique, like the nerdy stuff.
The nerdy stuff, yeah.
And you mentioned that you collaborated with a producer for the first time with the single.
Yes,
So
I did. Oh my goodness.
yeah.
No, yeah, because I have so many different songs for this album already, and it's just become overwhelming. I'll be honest. Yeah. I'm sure you can understand. Like, especially, I don't know if you like write different chapters at the same time, or like if you're working on different projects at the same time. But like, if you have all these different things going on, and it's at this point in my life and my career, I'm like, I've been doing this for a long time. It's like I think I've kind of shown a lot of people, like, after these many years, like this is no longer a hobby. This is something that is very serious for me. And so I was able to thankfully find people who are able to help me invest in this, because finding a producer and working with a professional producer, like it costs money. Mm-hmm. And so, but I'm so happy I was able to do it. And so he goes by the name Dibs. He's produced for like many people, but like the people I care about are like this. I know he's done a song "Roses" for Carly Rae Jepsen and "Soap" for Melanie Martinez. And the reason that I care about that is just I love Carly Rae Jepsen. I adored Melanie Martinez like all throughout middle school. Like when Cry Baby came out, like that was like my whole thing for a long time. Like I love alternative pop. That's what I always listen to. That's kind of what I write, even though I like to change it up a little bit. Like I think that's like my genre. And so when I saw that, like those credentials, I was like, whoa, I want to work with you. So very grateful to him. He just basically helped me clean things up a bit. I will say at first, I do love him, have lots of love for him, but I would also say he's a white man. And so I had all this campy stuff going on. And I think you can hear it in the mix as well, in the final mix now. But like I had like, in the beginning, I have like a horse neighing, and I have like a whip going on, and I have people cheering when I talk about like the people I love. And I have the cameras going on. And at first he was like, I'm going to take that away because there's so much going on. And I was like, no.
Oh,
I was like, don't do that.
You did?
I know. I was like, this is the whole point of the thing. But
Yeah.
then, but it was very easy to just be like, hey, could you just please put that back?
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, so everything worked out. But yeah, just
Good
little
he
things.
was understanding this.
No, yeah, he was so understanding. Great guy,
Okay.
great producer. Yes, I will work with him again. Love him. Nothing bad to say about him. But I think that just goes to show like I guess our different styles and like how that sort of came together. But he did such a great job just cleaning things up and making everything sound more cohesive. But yeah, I will say like I have like I didn't kind of realize it, but I do like this song. I feel like for me is very campy, and for him to have taken all of that out, I was like, no. um, but yeah, very lovely person to work with, and he honestly made me feel like so like he made me believe in myself, honestly, so much more than I did. If I don't know if I did honestly before. Sometimes even now I don't. Just because like the second I showed him the demo, like like just the demo I had, he had not worked on it at all. He was just like, wow, this is like the coolest thing I've heard in a long time. And I was like, you've worked with cool people like way bigger than me. I'm like, whoa. And like throughout the whole process, like I would just give him like my notes, or like I would ask him questions about like what he thinks, and he was like he really liked that I wanted to include him in this process. And because I think what he let me know, like some artists or whatever, just like, this is what I want, do it, which is fine. Go for them. But like for me, it's more of like a collaborative effort. And so I, especially as a producer myself, I think that's part of why I work this way. But I would be like, what do you think about this? Or this is what I think, but I want to hear your opinion, because I could be wrong, or maybe we could meet somewhere in the middle or stuff like that. And he let me know he really appreciated that. And I was like, okay, this is good. I'm doing good, because I was kind of worried. I was like, am I doing too much? Am I giving too many notes? Am I annoying? Like what's going on? But yeah, he was great to work with. And yeah, he was like literally near the end of production, like working with him. He was like, dude, you need to get out here in LA, because he's based in LA. And he's like, you need to be taking meetings, you need to be doing sessions. You're like, he was so nice. Honestly, a little too nice. He was like, you're better than a lot of people I know. And I was like, sir, you can't say that to me. My ego. But yeah, super nice. Really made me believe in myself a bit more, and made me feel more capable of like doing this as a career. Just because I was kind of like, am I even that good? Like, am I just, because there's so many people who are doing this. And I love that. I love that we're all able to create art. But I just wasn't sure if this is like more of me like putting out music like just for fun, or if like people really cared about it. And like, granted, it shouldn't really matter what people think, and that's something I'm always still working on, you know. But just hearing his feedback, and granted, it's not like the end all be all. He's not like the messiah of producers and like his word means everything. But like just having someone with a lot more experience who has done this before and worked on songs with people that I admire, like it just meant a lot. And I was like, okay, if this person thinks I have the potential to do this, then maybe it's worth pursuing. So yeah, that was a great experience working with him.
Yeah, maybe, I have a lot of indie artists on the podcast, and I know I have many listeners who, starting out or producing on their own too. And so I was wondering if you maybe can talk about a bit more like how you reached out to him. Like, as you said, you like checked him out and what he produced, and then you were like, you're the guy. But because he worked with, in your perspective, maybe like bigger artists, like how did you approach reaching out to him?
Okay, so for any indie artists out there, or anything like that, I recommend using the site Sound Better, which is
Okay.
kind of like Fiverr, if you know what Fiverr is. It's very much like independent contractor type thing. I'm on it as well. Where basically people will hire you, or you will hire a person to work with you on a song, depending on their skill set. And so he was on there, and he had like his references, and obviously, of course, I'm gonna look these people up because people can
Yeah.
also say people could say whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but I looked them up and I was like, wow, okay. But there's actually some really cool people on there who've worked with like really big artists. There's also some more um, like more up and coming uh, artists on there, or like more independent people like me. Like I'm on there as well. I know some people have also like commissioned me to just like make a beat for them or something, and I was like, okay, like that's not really what I do, but I could do that.
Yeah.
I'm getting paid, so why not? Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's how it happened. Um,
Okay.
but like that's but also part of like the music industry, or any creative industry, or like the entertainment industry, it requires money, and like that's something I
Yeah.
struggled with, and I still some struggle
Yeah.
with now. But like I said, like having people who like believed in me and have seen me do this for many years, and I know like I'm so serious about this, and also have heard my demo, and we're like, okay, I want to hear this really fleshed out and really really good. um and so all these like, I had some family members, I had some friends, um I just had some supporters who liked my music just like donate to
Yeah.
me, and I'm so grateful to them. And all that money was used just to give to him,
Yeah.
to produce this song. So I'm so grateful all of that was able to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shout out to them for
shout out to
supporting you.
them. Yes,
Yeah.
thank
That's so
you.
important to have like people in your life who are like able to support you.
Yes, my
Yeah.
goodness, yes.
It's especially in the arts world, it's like, yeah, it's hard.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, for sure. Um, I don't want to discourage anybody, but
Yeah.
it's not. You have to have some strength for sure.
Yeah.
Build up your
Yeah.
strength.
Yeah. Um yeah. Sorry, my mind is like always, when I'm recording at evening, I'm like asking a question and then I'm listening to the answer, and then when it stopped, I'm like, what's next?
It's,
You know,
it's
like,
okay. My brain. I'm so tired from last night.
okay, good.
My gig last night was really good, but I am tired and
Yeah.
exhausted.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I wanted to ask that. How was the gig?
So my gig last night went really well. It was my first time performing with these two new band members, Tyler Hazen on guitar and Ricky Garza on drums. And we had been rehearsing for uh, a little while now, and we had a really good time. It was at this gay club called Cheer Up Charlie's, and I love it there. I like to go there a lot, and I've also performed there in the past. They've always done me well. I've always enjoyed being there. And it was really good. It was really fun. I got to perform my song La Rosa de Guadalupe, like the full song for people.
Nice.
Because in the past, like I had another show where I performed like, actually I had a couple shows where I just performed like a snippet of it. But like for this show, I was like, you're getting the full thing. It comes out this
Yeah.
Friday. Or I guess when this podcast comes out, it'll be out.
Yeah.
But I let the audience know. I was like, it's coming out soon. If you haven't pre-saved it, I was like, y'all better.
Yeah.
But everyone knew me already, so I'm like, okay, I'm sure y'all already have pre-saved it. I'm literally like, like, who am I talking to? Like, y'all already know.
Yeah.
But yeah, the audience is so supportive and so great, and like I know the guys actually, like, they're very talented musicians, but this was actually like their second time ever performing in front of a live audience.
Oh
And so
wow.
I know that they were very nervous, and like there were like a few mistakes, which happens in like
Yeah.
live when you're performing live, and like we had like a couple technical difficulties just because like the sound engineer, like we needed to like raise up some of the mix so that our drummer could hear what they were playing, and like some stuff wasn't like super great, but like we got through it, we recovered, it's fine. But I
Yeah.
think because we're still new, it's our first time,
Yeah.
ever playing as a group together, because I played with like other groups, but like this is our first time as a group together, and this is our second time ever performing live in
Yeah.
front of an audience. I think they kind of like took it a little hard. And they're like, Ginger, they literally after the show, they're like, Ginger, I'm so sorry. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like,
Yeah.
it's fine. We did fine. Literally, we got so many compliments.
That's good.
And I was surprised because I honestly, like, even though like I felt fine about it, never know. Like, I just never know.
Mm,
And like, because I'm in
yeah.
it, I'm in it, and I don't know the world around me really.
Yeah.
Because I'm just trying to like, I want to be more present in my performances. I'm really trying to work on that. But I do kind of feel like in my head, I'm just kind of like, don't mess up, don't mess up, don't mess up.
Mm,
I'm working on it.
yeah.
I'm trying to be more present during my performances. But like I never know like how I really did. And even with the compliments, I'm still like not really sure. But like it
Mm,
was really nice to hear that, and there are lots of people there who are like, oh, I didn't realize this is your first time performing together as a group, because it seemed like y'all have been doing that for a long time. I was like, and I told the guys that, and they're like, oh, okay. And like the booker wanted to book us for other shows in the future, and I told the guys that. And anyways,
yeah.
I don't know if Tyler or Ricky will be listening, but y'all did so well. My goodness, calm down. My goodness.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I understand it though. Like, I'm a musician, I'm a perfectionist. I get it. Like, even at that show, like sometimes like I'm not on pitch all the time, and like
Yeah.
there are things I need to work on for sure. But like overall, I was like, it works.
So what I wanted to say is I've never been, I've never performed. I'm not a musician. I mean, well, that's not true. I performed in music school, but that's a total different, like
Yeah,
that's not a concert really.
but you're still
um
performing. You're still performing.
yeah. Yeah, but yeah, it's not a rock concert. If you know what I
It's a
mean.
bit different. Yeah, I will
Yeah,
say.
yeah, yeah. And so what I wanted to say is that even even though I'm not a musician, I never performed a rock concert. I've been in the crowd, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not only the music and the sound and how the musician performs, it's also very much like connected to the vibe of the audience. And yeah, it's a different vibe if everyone around you is like jumping and knows the music. I've been to a concert in London where I noticed this before the concert started, but I was there for the opener and
Mm-hmm.
no one knew the opener. So I was very very much alone in that crowd, and everyone's just, looking at the phones and getting drinks, and I was just like, hell yeah, I was
I'm
like trying to,
so
yeah.
grateful for people like you, because that really that's how it is, especially as an indie artist when you perform your
Yeah.
original songs. Like, nobody knows you,
Mm.
obviously, and nobody knows your songs. Um, and like I will say, like that's something you sort of just have to deal with.
Yeah.
But uh, like even at this show, even though there was people I knew, like there were also tons of people I didn't know in the crowd, which is also really cool
Yeah.
because it's like then you get to make new fans and all that.
Yeah.
But it's kind of scary because it's like they don't sing along, or like maybe they're just kind of like there, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Especially when they're kind of just like NPCs and just kind of like, and I'm like,
Mm.
hello, how do I engage with you?
Yeah, yeah,
um
yeah.
but
Yeah.
very grateful for the people who, like, especially like you. I try to do this at concerts as well, especially like dealing with it as an artist, where I'm just like really trying to hype them up, even if I don't know them. Like, even if I
Yeah.
don't know the words, like I'll try to figure out the chorus because it's like the same. So I'll try
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
figure out the words, or like pretend I know the words. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, but yeah, it really is about the audience, for sure, and like that's like it's such a meaningful part, and that's like the reason I think why people and why I perform. It wouldn't,
Yeah.
like, what is the point? Like, if there was no crowd, if there was no like audience participation, if you weren't getting anything, like I doubt
Yeah.
it would be as meaningful. So
Yeah, I think we talked about this. Did I ask you already what your favorite lyric line is?
From my song? I
Yeah.
don't think you did.
Oh, well then. What's
Wait
your
a
favorite lyric
second.
line?
Okay, actually, I have to look this up because I want to make sure
Yeah.
I'm making
Take your
an
time.
informed
Okay.
decision. Um, let me look at my song lyrics really quick. I will say, I know it's silly because I feel like some people will look at the song and be like, the lyrics aren't super great. Like, they're not that interesting. But to me, I think they're interesting.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Okay, I have a few. I can't help it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
drop them.
okay. So in the first verse, I say the people keep coming. The people are, and there's like a breath there to insinuate what I'm trying to say.
Oh yeah, I remember the breath.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but basically in the lyrics, it's like the people keep coming. The people are fucking me up. Because it's kind of, I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny because it's like coming, fucking. I don't
Oh.
know. I just thought it was
That
funny.
took me way too long to notice.
It's okay.
I
It's
was like,
actually
all right, why is this? Oh,
alright.
oh,
I'm like a middle school boy.
yeah. It's the tiredness.
No,
It's
yeah.
9 p.m. here.
I was just like, wow. I don't know. I just thought that was funny,
Yeah.
so I included
I
that.
I have I have some of these. Like these just happen, right? When you write lyrics, like
Yeah.
those things happen when I write poetry too, and I'm like, oh shit, that was not like that has a second meaning that I didn't intend to, but it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, even though it's so silly, I kind of love that one.
Yeah.
Um and then okay, and the second verse, I really love. I guess it's kind of two lines, but it's blue bonnets grow lonely with Hollywood's woes. Move to the west, turn to a yellow rose, and that kind of because in Texas, if you didn't know, our like our flower is the blue bonnet, and
Oh, okay.
yes, and so it sort of talks about basically what that line means is like um, the I kind of use the blue bonnet as like the the character of like this woman or this character of me, but also not me. But she grows lonely with Hollywood's woes because like now she's a superstar, she's famous, she's
Mm.
an icon. So she's now a Hollywood star. She's moved to the West, turned to a yellow rose. Also another Texas reference because I don't know if you also know this. We in Texas you're required to take like Texas history, so that's how I know all these things. When Texas was fighting for independence from Mexico, how we did that is we had sex workers who were called the Yellow Roses basically go into the camps of Santa Anna, I believe. It was like the
Mm-hmm.
leader of the Mexican uh, military.
Government? Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
military.
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe I could be getting things wrong. Basically, through their help,
Mm.
we were able to, gain our own independence. Um,
Oh.
um,
Okay.
so love them, love sex workers. But it also talks about like how you're also exploited as a sex worker as well.
Mm.
And so like the blue bonnet, the small town girl from Texas, moved to the West. She's lonely in Hollywood, and she's now being exploited. Like the blue bonnets grow lonely with Hollywood's woes, move to the West, turn to a yellow rose. So that's sort of what that means.
Mm.
Um,
Okay.
okay, so that's why I like that line a lot. I wish
Yeah.
I could explain it better. I feel like my words aren't super great today. Have no thoughts, but I also love that line. And
Yeah.
then yes, at least I hope you and I hope the people listening will at least get the gist
Yeah.
as to what I'm saying. And then I also love my bridge as well. I would say like my
Mm.
favorite line is the last line. If hell's as hot as Texas, then I think I'll be just fine. Um, it's just so fun to me.
Yeah.
But honestly, the whole bridge is just fun. Like, I had to leave my home of Texas, but it's just a state of mind. Like, Texas being a
Mm.
state of mind, like, I know we were talking about Tennessee as well, but like, I don't, it's just, that's something I just have to think about, especially because I do plan on moving to Los Angeles soon. And
Yeah.
like, one of the things I never want to forget or leave behind is like being a Texas girl or whatever. And I know that sounds so silly, but like, I think also, you haven't lived in Texas, and have you been to America by chance? No. Okay.
No.
No, hope one day you will, and
Yes.
we have to visit each other. But
Yeah.
there's this whole thing about Texas pride, um,
Mm.
and
Yeah,
like,
well, as a
yeah,
German, I know about the Texas pride.
yes, okay, yes. In case you didn't know, and so like, I don't know what it is about our state, but I am also consumed by Texas pride. It's hilarious, um, and like, it's because I, as a Texan, like, obviously there are tons of things, like, politically, so many things we need to
Yeah.
work on, but like, but the good things about Texas, um, like, those are the things I love, and I love being a part of this state. I love that I was born here. I love representing
Yeah.
the state, and I think it's hilarious because a lot of my friends and I have lots of friends who've moved out of Texas as well. But even when I travel and we talk to other people who are not from here, I feel like we get extra Texan, like when we're outside of Texas. We're like, yeah,
Mm.
we rode our horses to like school and like, um, yeehaw, howdy, like, we just like, I feel like we take it to an extreme. Like, even though here
Yeah.
we're like, it's whatever. We literally live in a city, but
Yeah.
but it's just a thing. But yeah, I do love representing my state, and I also think, but this is a hot take, but I do think some of the best artists and bands came from Texas. We have
Mm.
Beyonce. We have Megan Thee Stallion. We have we have Lizzo. We
Mm.
have Janis Joplin. And
Oh, yeah.
Elvis wasn't from here, but Elvis always came to Texas. He had the whole country to tour. He would come to Texas all like all all the time, multiple times.
Yeah.
Um,
Like literally, okay, I like to look at the map. I'm such a map girl.
yeah,
I have like when I go to a city, I know the map by heart.
yeah.
And so randomly, I think this started when I was a kid and I did start doing this, but I used to love just maps and memorize things. And
Oh,
so every time I look, we come back to Tennessee. Every time I look at the Tennessee map, I always think that Memphis doesn't look like it belongs to Tennessee just because it's like so close, like it's just
yeah,
because it's such a huge Tennessee thing, but it's at the same time it's like a kid that you put into like in the corner that has to
yeah,
stand in the corner and be like, I'm silent,
yeah, yeah.
so
I never thought of
yeah.
it that way. But now that you say that, I probably will never see it any other way now.
Yeah, yeah, because like Nashville is like in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Memphis is, I don't know, this is maybe controversial, but I think, especially in Europe, a
Hmm.
lot more people think about Memphis when they hear Tennessee. They think,
Yeah.
well, they mostly think about Graceland, but,
Yes, because
yeah,
Elvis. Yeah.
yeah, really interesting because, yeah, Nashville has a lot of history, but it's like, at the same time, Memphis is a bit more popular,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, because he talked about Elvis. Come
Oh no,
on.
yeah. I know he's not from Texas, but he loved it here. He loved it here. I have a whole
Anyway,
thing. I love Texas. I love music in Texas. We've done
yeah.
so much. Proud to be here. I'm so sorry to the other American states out there. I love y'all too. But yeah.
Yeah, you just don't wanna miss the state of mind that Texas gives you when you're
Yes,
like inside of it.
exactly.
I get
I
that.
I apologize. I'm sure if I move somewhere else, I'll probably develop, intense feelings for
Yeah,
that place, that location, because I'll be a part of the culture. Um,
yeah,
but always Texas, like, love you forever and always, for sure. I feel like it's a very collective experience. I think all musicians and all artists have to like whether they live in a small town or not, but like just to move to these big cities and like make it big doing their art. And so even when I was like pitching out my song, um, it was very standard. I was like, it's the typical the typical story of like the small town girl like wanting to make it big in Hollywood, you know.
Yeah,
But like with my own
get
little
it.
twist. And it's always important to try to make a twist, make it your own. And that's sort of how I did mine.
I noticed like the similarity between the Leo cover
Mm-hmm.
and La Rosa de Guadalupe.
Mm-hmm.
And after this episode, I will I will perfectly say it.
Okay.
So I noticed the similarity between the covers, and you mentioned that you want to release a new album, or like you
Mm-hmm.
plan on releasing a new album, and so I was wondering if you want to talk about the cover art work because it's like
I
really beautiful.
Thank you. I would love to. Honestly, all the credit goes to Slick Satan. His name is Ethan, but his name is Slick Satan. You can follow him on Instagram, Twitter, wherever on social media. But I found him because he's worked with Marina and the Diamonds. I know that she doesn't go by Marina and the Diamonds anymore. She just goes by Marina, but I feel the need to always say
Yeah.
and the Diamonds secretly. um, I'm sorry, mi madre, Marina. I must say it. But yeah, he's so talented, and I wanted to work with him again because first of all, I love the art. Secondly,
Mm,
I want to make sure that my single cover art is cohesive for the album.
yeah.
So for all of my songs, for this album, I will probably be working with him unless something happens, which hopefully nothing will happen. Or if maybe I find to do something different, like a different direction. I don't know. But yeah, I really like because my whole album, like my album's called Pop Cult, and I feel like he really expresses that because um, it reminds me of like those old it's sort of like comic book like, but also like magazine like old
Yeah.
magazines, like um
Like movie poster vibes
movie
almost.
posters. Like
Yeah.
it reminds me so much of like early pop culture, you know, like
Yeah.
early media. And that's everything I that this album kind of is about, but also like the juxtaposition of like new media and new pop culture. So it really is a blend, and like he does that so well. And that's why I was like, once I found him, because that's how I found him through Marina, and I saw that and I was like, whoa, like I need to work
Yeah.
with you. Um, and I found out he was just a fan. He was just a fan making like fan edits of like his favorite artists, and Marina
Oh, nice.
found him and worked with him, which I think is so great. Like that, I love when
Yeah.
artists do that. Um, and so I first worked with him on Leo, and that was amazing. And I basically told him like, "Hey, this is what I want," and he did it perfectly, and it was beautiful. And like same thing for La Rosa de Guadalupe. Like this one, I was like, I want me to be on a horse. I want there to be roses in the background. Um, I want to be wearing this dress, um, all that, and like he got it and made it was so beautiful. Because like I can let I can let him know like, okay, this is what I want, but like he just he's an artist, you know. He's gonna make it look so much better than I can even imagine. Um, and so love working with him. Excited to work with him on future projects. Um, but yeah, I'm obsessed with him. I'm obsessed with his art style. I love pop art. Like
Yeah.
even as a child, like seeing Andy Warhol's work,
Mm-hmm.
especially of like the iconic classic Marilyn art piece, like that was like a
Yeah.
huge thing for me as a child. And like she is an icon, and so I also channel her throughout this album as well. But like I don't want to I I feel like even this is also kind of going on a tangent. Like I feel like what I've noticed a lot is we like to recreate things whether like we recreate a look, or we recreate I don't know, like something somebody else did. And I think that's really cool. Like I love doing that. Like that's such a fun thing to do. But for this album, I really want to more so be inspired by, or pay like make it a homage instead of just a recreation. And
Yeah.
so especially since like as a child, like that was somebody who granted I was a child, I did not know any better. That's someone I
Yeah.
sort of saw as like a mother figure for me. I do always want to like pay respect to her, even though no relation or anything. But I well, always advocate for her, for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay, maybe to wrap this up,
Mm-hmm.
the episode, I have one last question for you, but actually two. First of
Okay.
all, can you like maybe because when I was googling Guadalupe, I
Mm-hmm.
found that it's like an island in South Caribbean.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
Yeah, yeah, the Southern Caribbean Sea, and I remember that the last time we talked to you, we're talking about how it's meaning Madonna, or
Yeah.
like. So I was like thinking maybe you should clarify this, because when people like Google it, it's literally coming up the island of the
Oh,
Southern Caribbean
really?
Sea, and it's like, oh, yeah.
Well, I know La Rosa de Guadalupe is also a telenovela.
Mm.
It's literally the same name, but it also is the name because when you search up, like it's basically like the Virgin Mary,
Mm.
like in English. And if you've seen like the portraits or murals of her, she's always depicted with roses like alongside of her, and so
Okay.
like that's where the La Rosa de Guadalupe comes from as well. But
Okay.
also,
Now it makes all sense.
no, yeah, now it makes a lot, yeah. But also Guadalupe is a name. I know that there are cities or places named Guadalupe. I
Mm.
have a tia named Guadalupe, um, but it's also like a sacred name.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah,
Thank you for clarifying that.
yes, for sure.
And then, okay, now to wrap it all up, I
Okay.
have one last question about the song. So if you could send the song to any artist, dead or alive, knowing they'd listen to it, who would it be?
You know, I would have to say Charlie XCX.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I say that is because she did really inspire it. She really did inspire the song,
Yeah.
which I've told people about, and they're kind of like, I don't hear it. They're like, this does not sound like Charlie XCX. Um,
Well,
yeah,
well,
I feel like it does because, for example, like in the chorus, I I feel like that sounds like Charlie. I feel
yeah.
like my voice. I feel like that's like a British accent I'm doing. Honestly, like that doesn't even sound like my voice. If I'm gonna be real,
Okay.
um, but I would love to just show it to her because she inspired it, and a lot of honestly like that confidence I was telling you about. Like a lot of that stems from the music I like her music. Like like throughout college, like even before I've been listening to her since like 2010. I remember when True Romance came out and I downloaded it on iTunes. Like I have been listening to her
Yeah.
for that long. Um, but uh, but like when Crash recently came out,
Mm.
it's very much about like, or even like when she worked with Tiesto, or like these more recent songs where she's like, I'm a hot girl, like things like
Yeah.
that. I'm like, it's really like it can be like really silly or whatever, but it's like hell yeah, like this makes me feel
Yeah.
good. Um,
Yeah.
and I would just love to show it to her because I would like to think she would like it. And maybe she'd make a cool remix out of it. I don't know.
Ooh.
Yeah, she's really good.
Yeah.
She's so good at remixes. I would love, I would love to work with her one day. She's amazing. Um, but yeah, I think I'd love to show it with her. Show it to her. There's so many other artists I'd love to show it to as well, but um, I feel like she would listen to it and probably get it like right away.
Yeah.
So
I see the I'm a huge Charlie XCX fan too, and
yeah.
I see the influence.
Yes, thank you. I'm
Yeah.
glad. I know. I don't know. Maybe some of the people I've shown probably don't listen to her as much. I don't know, but
Yeah, or maybe I have the kind of the feeling that people who like don't know all of her songs are having
yeah,
just like one impression of her, and
that's
this is maybe the
true.
hyper pop. I mean, you know, your song is kind of hyper pop too, but
Yeah, it's
like in your song, you kind of because she has a broad
yeah,
like a broad genre mix too, so it's like
yeah.
yeah, maybe people who don't love who only know like one or two songs are like not really, you know.
Yeah.
So,
No,
but
yeah.
yeah, I saw it. I saw it.
Yes,
I
I'm
heard it.
glad you saw it because that yeah, especially in that chorus, like I feel like that's very Charlie.
Yeah.
Like the way I used my voice in that, like I wasn't trying to be like her, but when I heard it back, I was like, this sounds very Charlie, and I was like,
Yeah.
I kind of love that. But yeah, she's really inspired me, and like I remember like I rewatched like her Bands in Town performance. I don't know if you've seen that,
Mm.
but it was a virtual performance like during COVID, like during
Oh,
lockdown.
oh
Um,
yes. I think I've watched it. But
yeah,
you know,
I
there
was
were
I
so many live streams
there
during
were
COVID.
there were. But I remember seeing that live because I got a ticket to it because I was like I want to watch this like while it's
Yeah,
happening,
yeah.
or while it's streaming or whatever. And I just loved it, and it's on YouTube now. I think somebody posted on YouTube, and
Yeah, I think I've watched it on YouTube, but I didn't purchase the ticket.
yeah, no, don't worry
Sorry,
about it.
Charlie.
So, but I still watch it over and over again because like even though there is like choreo and like there's stuff she's doing, like what I um what I love so much about that performance, because this is like before Crash came out, like
Yeah.
she kind of is like still doing like whatever, like she's on the ground, she's just hanging out, she's just having so much fun doing whatever, and like sometimes it looks insane, but like I'm in love with it, and like that's like all I ever want to do, and like that's like I feel like as an artist, like, and as a person in general, like that's what comes like wants to come out of me, but then I get too in my head about it, and then I'm like, oh,
Mm.
do I look crazy, do I look bad, do people get this?
It's the imposter syndrome,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
so, but like seeing her like just be so like unapologetically herself, like that has really inspired me,
Yeah.
like as an adult and as an adult woman, um especially like just embracing who I am, embracing my sexuality. So yeah, I love that woman a whole lot. Very grateful for her and her music. She's done so much for the culture, so much for the gays.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, love her. I got to see her when she was in Austin. She when she was after she released Crash, she toured the
Yeah.
album obviously.
Yeah.
So I got to see her. It was really fun.
Nice.
But yeah, love her so much.
Okay. Nice. So that was the episode.
That was the episode. Thank you so much, Bonnie, for having me and for letting me share about my new song, La Rosa de Guadalupe.
Yeah.
For the people listening, it's out now,
Mm-hmm.
and you can listen wherever you get your music, Spotify, Apple Music, or anywhere else. And if you want to support me by buying it, you can go to Bandcamp and look up my name, Ginger Rodriguez.
Nice.
Nice.
And I definitely want to have you back when you like release your album.
For sure. I want to be back. And Bonnie, I've enjoyed talking to you so much. I really have.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And this is our episode. Thank you for listening. Make sure to subscribe and review the podcast. I hope you had a wonderful time. This podcast is produced by the Cry Lounge, and go check out my novel. It was here, it's out now. You can get it signed or unsigned, and you can get it as ebook, hardback, or the German paperback. The original language is English. Thank you for listening again, and I hope you have a wonderful day, morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're listening to this. Bye! Howdy, here is Bonnie, your podcast host. Before we dive into this episode, I want to introduce you to my heartfelt and transformative novel, It Was Here. Dive into the captivating story of Harrison Selick, a 41-year-old divorced man navigating the complexities of love, loss, and self-discovery. In this beautifully crafted tale, Harrison's journey of rebuilding his life after a devastating divorce unfolds with raw emotion and unexpected twists. Join him as he grapples with his past, embraces the present, and embarks on a path to rediscover true love. But that's not all. Immerse yourself further in the world of It Was Here with our exclusive merchandise. We have a range of stunning postcards, posters, and stickers inspired by the novel, allowing you to carry a piece of this extraordinary story wherever you go. Side note here, there is an offer box available, and there you get everything. There you get a signed hardback copy and all of the merch. So yeah, listeners, get ready to be captivated by It Was Here and its compelling exploration of love, forgiveness, and the beauty of second chances. Don't miss out on this remarkable journey that will leave you feeling inspired and touched. To get your hands on the book or the author books, and of course our fabulous merchandise, visit the website at thecrylounge.com, or it's also linked in the bio. Discover a story that will stay with you long after you've turned the final page. I promise. Get your copy of It Was Here today.